and I Rapid saw my face.
Oh, your face was
Yeah,
everywhere.
I was like, what the hell is he doing?
Alright. I don't know what happened. XSplit just took a giant deuce on my computer, so
Okay, so
it's
where
up and
was
working now.
I? Where was I before we crashed?
You were talking about leather foreskin.
No,
No, that
no,
was
I
Glenn.
wasn't.
No, that was you, Kurt.
Well, alright, that was me.
But where was? What was I talking about? I don't
You were
remember.
talking about how
Were
you
you still
wanted
here?
it to be less of a hero, instant hero type thing, and then you went on to the party or groups. You can do most of it by yourself. But
Yeah,
then
the
Oh,
some
main
stuff.
right.
question was when it comes to storytelling, like your quest line, do you want to see it where it was like Soto, where you could solo anything, or do you want it to be more of a I require help? I mean, that would actually continue on with the not being the hero, being a regular guy, but building up. So, what do you see?
I do remember I said I think it should be a bit of both. You should be able to, because you got to cater to both the people who are going to be loners and then everybody else on top of that. So you should be able to play most of the game by yourself, but they should have that option, sort of like WoW did, or Guild Wars 2 was a great one where there would be random events going on that you can join up with other people and do and get rewards for it, or public dungeons, or make certain group quests that are required for you to get done, but nothing that would hinder somebody from completing their storyline, because then that just doesn't cater to everybody.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rapid. I was just about to ask you.
Oh. I'd like to see them tie in like the story into the rating aspect of it, um, where it's not just an individual like conquering everything. It's a group of heroes. Maybe not allude to the fact that there's 100,000 heroes everywhere, but a group of heroes come together to defeat this big threat.
Gooey?
Um, what they've said is pretty much tied it together. I mean, it's a lot of hopefully being able to do it the way you want to and working your way up, and having to work together at some point. Just to reiterate what they've said.
All right, no, it makes sense. So the next question I have, I want to focus on the immersion aspect of this question, mainly because it's been a very big hot topic on a lot of the forums I'm reading. The Holy Trinity, tank, heal, DPS. Without it, does it ruin the immersion? Because you no longer have a quote unquote role. It's not really your character. You don't really have a job anymore. Does not having a Holy Trinity ruin immersion?
I almost think it does. Um, I remember when Guild Wars 2 came out. That was one of their big draws. Is that the Holy Trinity wasn't there. There was no heals, there was no DPS, there was no tanks. It was you could do a little bit of everything depending on how you wanted to play your class. But I think by doing that, they also sacrifice the ability to have an efficient and strong end game. And if this doesn't have a strong end game, I I'm out. I'm sorry, but you need to. I think that plays a lot into understanding your character. It plays a lot into understanding how to play your class. It understands your race. It understands your guild. You can that defines so much just by that role. And if you try to make it so that there isn't a defined role, I think it's going to leave a lot of questions unanswered, and it's going to make it uh, much less immersive. But I know that some people will probably think the exact opposite, that being able to develop your character that way will make it much more immersive. So time will tell.
Yeah, I have to agree with Gooey on that. If there aren't specific roles that goes in for me, I want that. So you have to be good at this role, and if your tank is bad, your DPS dies. If your DPS is bad, the group dies. If your healers are bad, the tank dies, there has to be that role, that sense of responsibility, that sense of do what's best to min-max your class so you can play the most efficient way to conquer any situation. If anybody can do everything, then there's no balance to the guild. There's no okay, the tanks need to be able to work together. Everybody just does whatever, and as the one person said, that the idea just turned Guild Wars 2 in a big Zerg fest. You need that balance. You need that discipline. You need all that in endgame in order to achieve anything, I think personally, and for it to be more fun and whatnot, you need that balance of tanks, healers, and DPS, and people designated for those roles.
Yeah, I agree with what everything the Altair said. I think a lot of people are coming into Elder Scrolls Online kind of feeling that this needs to be a different game, no Holy Trinity, like any change is good change. But for a lot of aspects of a good MMO with good solid end game, you need to keep a lot of those features that people are used to. I mean, obviously they work, right? WoW's got 9 million subscribers or whatever. Like, it works, it's proven. If you try to reinvent the wheel too much, your car ain't gonna go anywhere, and you're just gonna, be left with a SWTOR situation. So, yeah, Holy Trinity is a good thing. Maybe make it so it's not as locked in. So, if you're a tank, you can like DPS or you can heal and you can switch it up however you want, but still have those defined roles in a raid setting, in a dungeon setting, to where you can't just go in there as 5 DPS and just steamroll everything. It adds depth to the game. It adds more of a personal relationship with your character as well.
My view on it is same as everybody else, but to me, I mean, I agree with everything, but the basics to me just comes down to it's a role-playing game. I mean, when you think about what brought RPGs to video games, your Dungeon Dragons, your character sheets, your um, pen and paper, pencil and paper type of RPGs, I mean, you weren't a jack of all trades. You couldn't do whatever the hell you wanted. You needed balance amongst your group in order to succeed, and that's what these games were based off of. That's how they work. People say they don't want the Holy Trinity, but name a really, really, really successful MMO that doesn't have a Holy Trinity, and your closest is Guild Wars.
Well, it's not even because Guild Wars 2 is successful, but name a game that has no Holy Trinity, but has content that people want to do.
Well, not, and that's what I was going to say after that is Guild Wars is mainly successful due to PvP. No one really gives a crap about Holy Trinity for PvP. For PvP, it's a holy two peoples. You have healers, you have DPS. No one wants to tank in PvP. So, I mean, yeah, definitely needs to be there.
Just reading the questions on morality and everything. So, when I originally asked you guys about what keeps you guys in game, it was all like community, new content. Nobody actually mentioned role playing. I'm surprised. The role play aspect of Elder Scrolls as a whole, I think, is probably one of the biggest RP communities I've ever seen, and probably one of the most detailed. What was that?
Oh, it's insane.
No, he didn't say anything. Go ahead, Rapid.
I was just gonna say it's insane. Like, if you were around maybe like 3 or 4 months ago, before all this like Tesso stuff started getting really kicked up with the beta and stuff, all the fan sites were like pure RP. Like, there was RP everywhere, and I'm not talking like a forum with just like 100 posts. I'm talking like thousands and thousands. Like, RP people were like way into this stuff, like way before anybody else. So you got to give them that. But I don't know. I mean, maybe with just we don't really have a large sample set with just, five people talking here, but I think RP will be a big aspect of the game, and I think that they're going to end up catering to a lot of RPers. I just hope they realize that most of their player base is probably not going to be RPers, and they go for kind of like the majority of what people want, not the vocal minority. But I know once beta comes out that a lot of people who were kind of silent in maybe like SWTOR beta and in SWTOR about the direction the game was going in are definitely going to be very vocal in this game's beta.
Yeah, I agree. Gui, you made a comment on stream earlier today, but you've also mentioned it before to me. That Elder Scrolls Online kind of makes you want to role play with your character, like not go out there and start LARPing with lightning bolts, but makes you want to create that backstory that you've never wanted to do. Why is it that Elder Scrolls does that, but for example, World of Warcraft or SWTOR never made you want to feel immersed into the game? Why Elder Scrolls?
Elder Scrolls has the universe behind it. I just feel is so unique. There's such it's such a large area. There's so much potential for it, um, and there's so much more detail in it. I mean, even though it's set 1,000 years before anything's already happened in any of the games, there is so much detail that's already there. The lore is already detailed. With Star Wars, you knew some of the stuff, but a lot of it was already written, or a lot of it was either already written or it was just a blank slate. Um, with Guild Wars, it was almost too fantasy for me. I don't know how I can rationalize saying that Guild Wars is more fantasy than Elder Scrolls, because it had the same type of thing where there were creatures that were humanoids but not humans, and they just had different types of humans. But I don't know, actually. Um, Maybe it's just the way that it's being presented. Maybe it's the experiences that I've had in the Elder Scrolls games before, where you have so much freedom to make your character the way you want it to be and to play the game the way you want it to be. Where with Knights of the Old Republic and stuff, you were still very limited. It was still pretty linear. And with WoW, I mean, what you had before that was RTS, and you didn't really have a chance to make your own hero with that. So, I mean, it's the opportunity I feel is greater there to be able to do that than it has been in other MMOs, at least for myself.
What about Glenn? Do you want to create that backstory for your Elder Scrolls characters at all? Like I know you've played the Elder Scrolls games in the past. You've played Oblivion. You've played Skyrim. Um, did you ever have that need to create the backstory for your characters?
I haven't so much, but with the single player games, I wasn't as worried about it. I would be more intrigued in doing a little bit of it with the MMO. But my main reason for, and this would be the first MMO I do it for, and my main reason for that would be mainly that it was always an RPG to me, Elder Scrolls. It was always an RPG to me. It's just now it's a more permanent RPG, something that will hopefully last a while and be more, I don't know if you want, just permanent, I guess the best way I want to put it, where WoW started originally as, oh, well, this was a really great strategy game with a cool story that I'm now living in. It wasn't like I am in this RPG universe, so it's just the way I'm going into the game makes it just feel more RPG-ish to me. But that's my personal opinion, obviously.
I hadn't thought about that. The fact that the Elder Scrolls has always been an RPG, where with Star Wars there's been a lot of different options, and Warcraft had always been an RTS. I guess that probably plays a huge part of it too.
What about you, Rapid? Did you ever get that need to create that backstory or go out and throw some lightning bolts?
Oh yeah, man. All the time. I got Word documents upon Word documents with background. I'm being sarcastic. No, I've never felt any need to have any sort of backstory from any of my characters or anything. You know, I kind of view the games or the MMOs from more of a, I guess just, it's a video game. If I wanted to get kind of like lost in another world or something like that, I'll, read a book or something like that, I guess. But no, I just play these games differently than a lot of people do, especially role players.
What about you, Altair? You a little bit of a role player now that you're getting into the Elder Scrolls Online?
Um, I would say I've always been a bit of a role player. I'm a huge fan of games like Mass Effect, Dragon Age, Assassin's Creed, and stuff like that. And games like that immerse you into the character. Like Mass Effect, you make choices based off of what you think is best for your character. You have to create some sort of backstory, and you get a couple different options to choose from. So I would say I'm definitely into the role-playing aspect to create the backstory, and you try. And for example, one of the characters I made two different characters in Mass Effect. One of them was a spacer war hero, and I played the game based off of that backstory, and then I turned around and made a earthborn asshole and based the game off of being a complete asshole and role played it that way. So I'm definitely into the role playing.
I'm definitely not a LARPer. I mean, I don't think I have the physical energy to go out there and pretend to throw lightning bolts. Um, but I've tried to write a backstory for my characters. Failed majorly. Um, but yeah, for some reason, Elder Scrolls, I definitely want to try and create something. I don't think I ever will, which is mainly because I'm not a creative person, and some of the articles I've read are just way too detailed for me to even attempt. It's like going to a art gallery and thinking, "Oh, I'm going to buy a piece of art," and you bring $5 with you, and you turn out they're like $500,000 things. You're just not up to par. So let's talk about crafting as an immersion aspect. What type of crafting can you guys feel would keep you engaged in the crafting system? There's games out there right now in the MMO genre that have crafting systems, but you are in no way tied to them. For example, SOTOR. Its system sucks. Don't get me started.
Um, I've got some interesting points on this. I think a really good crafting system would be something where, and we might have discussed this before, I don't know, but I don't know if it's on stream, where you specialize in something really, really, really hard, and so it's very unique to you as a player, so it makes you desirable to other players. Like, he can make this like super good shield because he specialized in it because he's made so many shields before, and so it gives crafting like a reason. In WoW, you're kind of like, okay, I'm a, 525 engineer, and I can make the exact same shit as everybody else, so why would anybody want me over anybody else? I think making something where it's very unique, only you can craft that item. I don't know if you guys played back WoW in like vanilla, but whenever someone on your server found like a certain pattern, that dude was gonna be rolling in it, Like everybody wanted that shit. I think that would be awesome if you could just like specialize something so deep that it would actually be very desirable.
So like,
Uh,
go ahead.
no, you go ahead. I'll tag on to you.
I was just gonna say, so gonna kind of tie on to what he was saying about customization. Um, you were kind of talking about maybe trying to get a system in that if I create a sword, there's something unique about that sword that when people see it, they're like, "Oh, that's Garbrak's sword." Like maybe I can customize the hilt or put runes on the blade or etch my name on the side of the blade or something like that. Something small but easily implementable.
The the best crafting system that I've seen in an MMO, and I would love to see uh, Tesso integrate this into their game, or incorporate this into the game was what Star Wars Galaxies did for crafting. And I've told you about this before, Garb, but the way that Galaxies did their crafting was you could create an item by getting to a certain point in your profession, and then you could use any type of materials for that item. So, for instance, let's say that it's an iron. There'd be bad iron, good iron, and exceptionally good iron. If you use the bad iron, say 5 of them to make a sword, then the sword would have lower stats. If you used exceptionally good iron, all 5, then you'd have the best stats that you could produce. If you used a mix of good and bad, or extremely good, or exceptionally good and bad, then it was subpar. You didn't know what you were going to get. There was never a point where, or at least the entire time that I played, there was never 2 sets of or 2 identical items crafted. Each one was unique according to the items that were put into it. So if you wanted a good quality item, you paid for the good quality mats. I would love to see that implemented with a bonus system. Like the more you craft it, like you said, the more you craft it, the better chance you have of getting a good quality item, despite the fact that you might not use the best mats for it. With that being said, I would also love to see that mixed with the discovery system that Guild Wars 2 had. I saw some people talking about in the chat. That system was probably one of the few things that I really, really, really liked about Guild Wars 2, because you had to actually use your mind and think, okay, if I combine this and this with a fire enchant, would I get a shield, or would I get a sword, or what would I get? It made you think. It immersed you into it. It made you more in love with what you were doing. It made you feel more connected to it.
I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, that discovery system was really cool.
Now, I wanted to say, I know it's a very small comparison, but kind of what Rapid was dwelling on was I like to see, kind of like Vanilla WoW had your different style of blacksmithing and engineering and things like that. I definitely want to see something like that. I don't want everyone to be able to make the same thing, whether it's the way GUI was explaining, or if it is something just as simple as, just proving yourself to be able to create a certain type of item really well. That's just what I would like to see.
Yeah, having a system in place where you had those discoveries like Gui was talking about, I think that's a phenomenal system. But in order to keep on top of it, I think they need to secretly add new recipes or new discoveries into it and not tell anybody, to keep people trying new things. Otherwise, in a month and a half, people are going to know everything. So I think they need to stay on top of that.
People always will data mine files and stuff and figure stuff out, though. I mean, you'll go to MMO Champion and look at the next patch thing and get all the list of the new recipes coming out or whatever it is.
Damn data miners.
I mean, you can choose not to look at that, but then there's going to be people with that information who are, quote unquote, ahead of you.
Yeah.
So
I agree with what Garb said, as far as them secretly putting recipes into the crafting system. Me personally, I liked how original Vanilla WoW's crafting system went, as far as like blacksmithing went, and certain like leatherworking and stuff like that. You had armor smiths, weaponsmiths, stuff like that, and you were able to craft certain weapons and stuff like that. I didn't do much of the Elder Scrolls crafting at all. Elder Scrolls started to really, Guild Wars crafting. Guild Wars crafting started to really bore me after a while. The whole game just started to bore me, so I didn't play it very much. But the I think Elder Scrolls should incorporate a mix of 3 games. They should keep the Elder Scrolls crafting system as they have it. I think they need to incorporate some stuff from the SWTOR game and a little bit from WoW. From SWTOR, I liked the ability to, if you can craft it, you can disassemble it. So if you can craft a weapon, you can disassemble that weapon and get materials from it, with the chance of getting a very rare quality material back from it. I think you need to have they need to have specializations for each crafting ability. So you the enchantments or augment whatever the hell you want to put on it, or something like that makes you very unique. I also think because in Skyrim, in Elder Scrolls, anyway, you can have a bit of a companion, so to speak, and you should be able to have that companion be like your apprentice, and then start crafting stuff for you and have their own inventory and stuff like that, and you can teach them how to do some crafting and send them out to craft for you.
Yeah, like now we're starting to talk about ideal crafting systems as a whole. I have one more topic I want to talk about as an aspect of immersion, just because again it's been a hot topic on the forums. We brought this up, I would say, in episode 2 of Elder Scrolls Uncovered, and it was a pretty big topic for us to talk about. Housing. How immersible is housing? Like, is that a requirement to keep you immersed? Like, having a house as a role player, not even just as a role player, just playing the game. Do you feel that's an aspect that'll keep you playing immersed into the game, or do you think that's just an added feature that you don't really need?
It's a feature that you don't really need personally. You don't need it to feel immersed personally, but definitely a great feature nonetheless. It adds to that role play aspect, adds to that sense of ownership and sense of personable to your, in a sense of what's the best word? Attachment to your character. Your house is your house where you store your stuff. You do, it's yours. You worked hard to put what's in it and stuff like that. So that adds to that aspect of role playing. Though I do not think it is a requirement.
I don't think it's a requirement, but I think it is definitely great. That kind of adds back to the questions we were talking about, why we want to do, like why we actually want to RP a little more in this game than anything else. And I think this is a great example, just bringing the actual just RPG into the RPG.
One of my favorite parts, I keep going back to Star Wars Galaxies because that was probably my favorite MMO that I've actually ever played. I felt very immersed in that. I felt very connected to it because player housing was a big part of it. Everything from it, from who could get in, who couldn't get in, who was allowed to change stuff, where you place stuff, um, where on the wall, how you had it laid out. I mean, you could use it as a storage locker. You could use it as a shop. I mean, you could set up a droid and people would sell. You could sell stuff out of it. It was yours. I don't think it's a necessity, but I think it would help a tremendous bit because then you could say, sorry, um, there's. I lost my train of thought.
That's normal.
All right, let's go to Rabbit, who's sitting there with this deep look of thought on his face.
All right, housing. I think it's something that's pretty cool, and I think that a lot of people would appreciate it and like it. And I don't think it's that hard to implement into a game, especially with the stuff they already have in like Elder Scrolls, like interaction with objects and stuff like that. I don't think it'd be that hard to actually implement it, and it'd be a good thing. But for the I don't know, for like make or break the game, I don't think it's that important. They already stated it wouldn't be in at launch, I think. Me personally, I would, even more so than just individual housing, I would love like a guild hall type deal.
Guild Hall would be pretty nice. Welcome back.
I'm sorry. My internet cut out there for a second. The too long didn't read version of what I was saying because I kept going until I realized that Skype had crashed and I lost internet. Not a necessity. Very, 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 very helpful.
So I've covered all the topics I want to talk about for immersion. Do you guys have anything before we go on and talk about some of the stuff that was released this week?
Nope, I'm good.
One thing that I was wondering, and I kind of talked to you about it, with how immersive it would be with a group, how much it would require you to be in a group. Um, the social point system that SWTOR had, do you think that would be good in this?
It's a good question. What do you guys think? Do you think social points is a good feature to have in an MMO? Something to promote camaraderie or promote grouping? I think you stumped them.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Social points, like in SWTOR, where when you worked with people and you did a quest together, it would give you points. It was mainly cosmetic stuff that you could get.
Oh,
I think it's interesting. I really don't know. I really don't have a good answer for that. All I can say is that if they do, it better not be damn broken where if you level from 0 to max with a group the entire time and then still be ranked 2 out of 10 or whatever that shit did in SWTOR, it just better work. I think it'd be a nice thing to add, but I really, I'm right in the middle on the needle on this. I'm not really swaying much either direction.
I
I
don't.
mean, I'm not very committed to it. I'm not attached to it. Like, if they don't have this, I'm going to be really upset with them. It's more of a,
Oh.
it was a nice feature to have that I wish I had explored more while I was playing SWTOR. But I agree with you in that if you level from 0 to 50 and you're still level 2 out of 10, and to get to level 10, it's going to take like 3 years to do it. That's stupid. It shouldn't be like that. But it could be a cool system to give guilds reasons to run together, give people to meet new people, or give people reasons to meet new people as they play the game, and make it more, like you said, immersive instead of like LFG where you meet 4 random people, no, don't say a word to them unless you get pissed off at them, and then rage quit.
I don't think they're gonna have it in the game solely based upon the fact that they said that. Um, what am I trying to say? I completely lost my train of thought.
I can put up the picture of the cat. Does that help?
Yeah, put up that cat. Maybe if I look at it. Okay, now I remember. The cat worked. Thank you. They said that you wouldn't be able to, or you would be able to go from 1 to 50 completely solo on your own. Like you wouldn't have to group to do that experience. I think they're kind of catering to like the single player Tesso player, and so I don't think they would put something out there that would punish people who didn't want to group. You know.
And I don't know if I would say that the social point system really punished people who didn't group in SWTOR. I did all except for maybe the last 3 levels by myself, and then I started leveling with Kurth and made him look stupid for the last 3 levels because he couldn't keep up with my damage.
1, I was a tank, and 2, we started grouping from like level 40.
You were a smuggler, you weren't a tank.
Oh, was it my smuggler? All right, well,
Yeah.
whatever. My smuggler was a healer. Leave me alone.
That's still out damaging you.
Yeah, you did.
Let's talk about food trucks.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, let's talk about food trucks. Go ahead, Rapid. You seem to be the food truck expert. Oh, actually, before
So
you talk about this, I'm curious. Is Altair even there? Like he hasn't blinked.
I'm still here.
Okay, your cam turned off. You haven't blinked in like 5 minutes. It's really weird.
I love that like unimpressed expression on his face too.
I'm having some technical difficulties over here.
Oh, all right.
I think it fits.
Yeah. All right, go ahead. Let's talk about the food truck. Let's talk about some of the information that was released this week.
All right, so I don't know if you guys saw, but they're doing a food truck for Tesso, which is really interesting and weird. But they basically say they'll be doing 11 stops. They're giving away free food, giveaways, more, and they're gonna go to actually 6 college campuses, which is pretty neat. Um, they're also going to PAX East, which is very cool
Whoop, whoop.
too. But yeah, I think this is interesting. I don't know, has any other game company really done something like this where they actually like send out food truck to different places?
I don't know if they've ever any other company has done a food truck. But SOTOR did do the Guild Summit, which was kind of community related. The food truck's kind of cool. I will be going to PAX. I do need a few more donations, so if anybody wants to head over to shadowmare.com and donate like $5 or $10, I'd much appreciate it. If you do donate, just so you know, you get a chance to win swag. But yeah, so I'll be going to the PAX food truck, so I'll be doing a whole article and pictures as to what exactly is going to be on the food truck. Hopefully there's some sweet rolls, because I want to throw sweet rolls at people who ask really stupid questions.
You are welcome, by the way, Garb.
Yes. Altair actually bought my ticket, so thanks, Altair.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna have like massive blocks of cheese and like huge sweet rolls, and then just like, I mean, maybe they might serve like big hunks of walrus meat and stuff. That'd be pretty cool.
Speaking of PAX East, we will be streaming just about everything physically possible.
Yeah, we'll be streaming from the event, videos from the event, hopefully some interviews. My mouse is being weird. Hopefully some interviews, articles, streaming from Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday nights from the hotel. So, but yeah, let's talk about the food truck. What do you think's gonna be on the food truck? You're talking about big wheels of cheese there, Rapid? Why do you want cheese?
Yeah. I don't want it. I'm not going.
You
I'm
just
saying
want a
that's
big
what
wheel
they're
of
gonna
cheese.
have. I'm just saying that's what they're gonna have. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm really curious, like, how long they're gonna do it. Because I mean, some of these like PAX is 3 days, right? So they're gonna be there like all 3 days.
No, they're only there on Saturday.
Okay.
So they'll be there on the Saturday. They haven't stated what time, but they're there Saturday, and then from there, I think they go to a university, a college campus in Boston or Massachusetts, and then from there, I think they go Michigan, don't they?
Yep. Michigan State.
There, Soccer wants you to get some goat milk from the food truck.
Goat's milk. Yeah.
What if they had battle goat cheese?
Ooh.
I would get on a plane and go.
All right, everybody has to email community@elderscrollsonline.com and tell them to get battle goat cheese on the food truck. And if they do, Rapid's going. He just committed.
I already emailed them about introducing battle goats into the game before, so.
I let you down. I didn't email them this week.
Oh man.
It's fail, gooey, fail.
What's this SXSW 2013?
What?
I don't know. That's their first stop, and that's the closest one to me. I was just
I don't know.
thinking.
Maybe it's a small convention. I don't know.
I just realized that's probably during my spring break.
There you go. You're going to get some battle goat cheese.
MR road trip. Let's do it.
You'll be going by yourself?
Oh.
Oh, I should have joined us.
So one of the other things that was released this week was a thanks a million video that they released because they hit 1 million likes on YouTube. And those sneaky little buggers tried to hide information in this video. So Rapid actually popped onto Mumble and said, dude, video now. And I was like, all right. So that video was all thanks to Rapid. But yes, we did find some excellent information in there. Did you want to talk about that, Rapid?
Sure. There's a couple little things that got included in there that are pretty interesting. One of them was a view of the character creation, and it was on the picture of a red guard woman. And they had the character sliders blurred out, so you couldn't really see that. But the background was like a desert area, so it's kind of cool. Kind of give you some insight and maybe like starting zone for red guards. By the way, the character model looked badass. In case anybody was wondering about graphics, you should go check that out.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the video or the video Rapid and I did, there's actually an article written over on the shadowmare.com website. Go take a look at that, watch the video, see if there's anything that you guys can spot as well. But yeah, there was the character model with the character creation sliders on the side that they blurred out. Let's see, there was the Adobe Premiere. She was working on Adobe Premiere,
Okay, you
which
did confirm that?
actually she confirmed it.
Oh, did she?
Yes, she
That's
actually
crazy.
saw the video and commented that she was using Adobe Premiere.
That's badass. That's
Yeah,
a video thing,
yeah,
I
that's
think.
yeah.
Yeah.
The picture of the goddess was actually from the Alliance at War trailer.
That's cool.
Back that was released back in what, January, I believe.
So was she working on that trailer? Was probably the deal.
I don't know. I mean, it was already released, so I'm thinking they just put it up there because I mean, why else would she be working on it? It's already been released. So I don't
Right.
know what she was actually doing on it, but she did comment that she was working on Adobe Premiere, so that's kind of cool that they did see it. Um, One of the do you remember the guy doing the happy dance with the epic beard?
Yes. Yeah, I saw that.
I called him the bearded mascot. I don't know if it's an employee with him or friends of his. They actually commented and said apparently he's always like that. So interesting work environment, that's for sure.
It's awesome. I'm trying to find the link to that video. Someone was wanting it in chat.
Um,
I found it. I found
okay, I
it.
was gonna
Don't
say
worry.
because I know on the shadowmare.com website it's in the article. You just click on the video, it takes you to YouTube, and it's there. What else was released this week? I believe that was it, really. At least they're releasing information. I mean, it might be hidden, but it's information.
Oh, bro, you forgot about the question of the week number 11. What were you thinking?
Question of the week number 11. Oh, we talked about that.
I'm just joking.
I do. I love the aspect of it. I hate them. I'm not a big fan of them. I'm not a big lore person. I don't play the Elder Scrolls games for lore. I play it for the game. I don't play MMOs for the lore, even though I've read every single Warcraft book. If Elder Scrolls ever releases real books, if they have released books, please somebody tell me. I will go buy them and read them. Um, but yeah, I don't play the games for the lore. I play the games for the gameplay, and that's one reason I'm very excited about Elder Scrolls Online is because of the gameplay that they're going to be having.
Boom, I found a book.
A real book?
Infernal City. Yep.
Link that, and I will buy it and read it.
There you go. It's in Skype.
All right, thanks. Actually, just put it in the Twitch chat there. Um,
Whoops, definitely not it.
I mean, that's pretty much it. It's 15 minutes shorter today, but that's okay. Some of us have some extra stuff to do today. But I'm going to open up the floor for our shameless plugs. Rapid, go ahead and start with the shameless plugs.
All right, so I'm Rapid. I'm the GM of a guild called Midnight Reveries. We are a hardcore PvE progression group that also does some mass PvP. I will link our website in the chat. So if you're interested in being part of a hardcore guild from the ground up in Elder Scrolls Online, you should definitely come check us out. We're always on Mumble hanging out, just playing random games like League of Legends and Minecraft and stuff like that. And
Skypigs.
and Skypigs, yeah, we're pretty friendly guys. So just come check us out. I'm pretty excited for Elder Scrolls Online, as you can tell, because I'm on this podcast.
And what faction is that, Rapid? What faction are you playing?
Faction is the Ebonheart Pact. Best faction.
No.
Glenn, Gooey, Altair. Anybody want to do some shameless plugs before I thank our sponsors?
I'm Altair. I'm officer for Clearing Call, and for the most part, in any game I participate in, the raid or operations leader for the guild. I would like to obviously promote our guild. We are a community. We play a plethora of games, single player, MMO, first person shooter. We play just about all of it. There's always somebody on Mumble or on Facebook or anything like that, just sitting around doing nothing, chatting, having a good time, things like that. So be sure to check us out at ccguild.ca and follow our Clearing Call Facebook page, or No, I was actually doing laundry right before I started the this thing, so that's all my laundry in the back that you see. But or check us out on Twitter. My tag is Altair_CCGC, and Garbs is rgetchel. And if you have any suggestions for games you think we should check out or anything like that, let us know.
Gooey or Glam? Do you want to do some dirty, shameless stuff?
Not tonight. I can't really talk much anymore.
Gooey?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Of course I can hear you.
My apologies. I had to mess around with some USB cables in my keyboard. Anyway, I am Gooey from Clarion Call. I don't know why I had a momentary brain fart onto what our guild is called, but I have been playing with our group for about a year and a half now. Probably close to a little bit a year and 3 months, but whatever. And I can tell you that if you are looking for a good group of people to play games with that will become more than just players and a family, this is the group for you. We're actively recruiting for WoW, for Elder Scrolls, pretty much anything. If you want to check us out, our link is ccguild.ca. I'll throw it in the chat here in a minute. But we would love to hear from you. We'd love to have you join us for some games and become a part of our community because we believe it is more than just being players and it's more than just about who gets the highest DPS or who gets the best loot. It's all about having fun together, spending time together, being a family. So check us out. I'll post the link here in a second. Thank you for joining us tonight.
CCGC will be playing on Elderberry Dominion. So I just want to do some shameless plugs. I want to thank shadowmare.com website for being a supporter of the Elder Scrolls Uncovered. It is a Elder Scrolls Online fan website. I believe it is still second as to largest fan base or member base Elder Scrolls Online fan site. So if you haven't already, head on over there, shadowmare.com. Take a look at their website and sign up. Definitely participate in the forums. As well as, like I said before, I'm going to be attending PAX, so if you guys want to help support that, all the information I'll be giving from PAX will be posted on the Shadowmare website. So essentially, me going is essentially going for Shadowmare. So if you want to give them some support as well, definitely head on over there. There's a link. Nothing's too small. Obviously, nothing's too big. So other than that, I mean, thanks to everybody that came out. Thank you to Altair, Gooey, and Rapid and Gland for attending this week. It was a great conversation. If anybody has any topics for next week, or if you would like to be a participant in the Elder Scrolls Uncovered podcast, definitely head up our website, ccguild.ca. Under the forum section, there is a section called CCGC Videos. You can definitely sign up there. I put the sign-ups on active as of Monday. And like I said, if you guys have any topics, feel free to either tweet myself at rgetchel, Getchell, and or just hit up on the website. I mean, it was a great conversation. We talked about the immersion, and other than that, I mean, I got nothing. Anybody else?
Just thanks everybody for showing up and coming out. Tell your friends. It's always fun to talk about Tesso.
Yeah, thanks for coming out. Thanks for showing us support. Like Garb said, me and Garb will be attending PAX East. We have tickets for all 3 days. We will be streaming from, if we can, if we're not too busy, we will be streaming from the event. We'll be taking lots of videos. We will be taking lots of pictures from the event, hopefully trying to get interviews with people at the event, and we'll also be doing recaps every night back at the hotels in regards to what we saw, what we did, what we got to participate in, and whatnot. So be sure during March to check those out, and also keep tuning in to Elder Scrolls Online as we come up with more information. We always share it. Our website is also a huge place for information. We have guild blogs. We discuss just about everything on the website. So be sure to check that out as well.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming up.
Good night.
See y'all later.